Sarah Winchester stood in the center of her empty mansion, staring at the blank walls, her grief weighing heavily on her frail shoulders. The air was still, almost suffocating, but she didn't notice. The memories of her husband, William, and her infant daughter, Annie, swirled in her mind, ghosts she could never escape. But those weren't the only ghosts haunting her. After William's death, Sarah sought solace in a séance with a medium. The psychic's words still echoed in her ears. The souls of those slain by the Winchester rifle cry out for justice. You are cursed, Mrs. Winchester. Build a house for them, one that will never end, or they will never let you rest. Desperate and guilt-ridden, Sarah sold her Connecticut home and fled west, determined to fulfill her supposed duty. She purchased a small farmhouse in San Jose, but it wasn't enough. Construction began almost immediately. Rooms were added to rooms, staircases twisted into the ceilings, and doors opened into sheer drops. Workers were given no explanation, just constant, cryptic orders. Build here. Stop there. Add another floor. Years passed, and the mansion grew into an incomprehensible labyrinth, a place where walls seemed to breathe and shadows whispered. But Sarah wasn't just building for the spirits, she was building to hide. One night, a storm rolled over the valley, and Sarah sat alone in her séance room, candlelight flickering against the walls. Her fingers trembled as she clutched a planchette, trying to summon the spirit of her daughter. "Annie," she whispered, her voice cracking. "My sweet Annie, are you there?" The planchette began to move. Slowly, deliberately, it spelled out, "Run." Sarah's breath caught. She glanced over her shoulder, her heart pounding, but there was nothing there. Just the faint creak of the house settling. "Who is this?" she demanded. The planchette moved again, "They know." Before she could question further, the candle blew out, plunging the room into darkness. And then she heard it, the distinct sound of footsteps, heavy and deliberate, coming from above. The problem was there was no floor above her room. The next morning, her staff found her pale and shaken, muttering under her breath. She ordered construction to speed up, demanding more secret passages, more dead ends, more rooms. The house became her fortress, her maze to confuse the spirits, or perhaps to trap something else. But the twist came on a cold December night. Sarah was found in her bedroom, slumped in a chair, clutching a letter. It wasn't her death that shocked the staff. She was an old woman by then. It was what they found in the letter. It wasn't from a spirit, but from her late husband, written years before his death. It read, "The Winchester rifle was our legacy, but it was never your burden to bear. Live freely, Sarah, for none of this is your fault." The truth hit like a cruel joke. Sarah had been chasing ghosts that may have never existed. The spirits weren't haunting her. Her guilt was. And in trying to escape, she'd built a prison for herself, one she could never leave. To this day, visitors to the Winchester Mystery House speak of a shadowy figure in black, seen wandering the halls, her head bowed and her lips moving, as though whispering an apology to the dead. Was it Sarah's guilt that turned the house into a beacon for spirits? Or did something else slip through the cracks of her labyrinthine creation? What do you think?